Hi, Sabre here. I'm just here to talk to you about Record Store Day and records in general. Music I've been listening to since I was way high or whatever. My parents used to listen to music all the time, especially in the kitchen or whatever, when relaxing, instead of watching TV all the time or whatever. So some stuff I listen to is stuff that they listened to when they were little, when they were little, like Teresa Brewer, Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra, stuff like that. But I grew up listening to some of their stuff, and then listened to other stuff later on, like groups like Procol Harum and like soft rock stuff from the 70s, Barry Manilow, Engelbert Humperdinck, stuff like that. But anyways, I'm getting off track here. But I'm going to go through some of the stuff about Record Store Day. I mainly, right now, since I moved out here to California, I mainly go to Amoeba out in San Francisco for Record Store Day. I went there last year, but I didn't have anything to know about what was coming out at the time or whatever before I went. But this year I was a little more aware of what was coming out and what to look for Record Store Day. Because a lot of times artists or whoever runs the artist releases limited edition stuff or whatever for Record Store Day. And a lot of the vinyl that came out was either like colored or something specific for the album or for the record or song that came out. But first, as I was waiting in line, they handed these out. If you know what they are, I'm not going to say what they are, but I know what they are, what they're used for from when I used them as a kid. But they handed these out, and they handed out guitar picks too in a bag. But I picked this out. I always pick this out because I picked this out last year too. In fact, the shirt I wore for Record Store Day had one of these on the shirt that I bought at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. But as I was saying, for Amoeba, they had where you could print out what you want, a PDF file, and it has a list of all the stuff that was coming out for Record Store Day. There's probably about 6 or 7 pages here. It starts off with singles first or whatever, and then it goes out to full-length albums of stuff that came out for that day that you can look for, and it'll say next to it the name of the group, the name of the album, and what might be special about that record. But let's get into the category and first talk about some of the records that I picked up that I have here with me. Well, first, let's talk about this one. Back in the early 90s, I got involved with, or not involved, but started listening to a group called Green Jello. But they had to change their name to Green Jelly. And it's supposedly still pronounced Green Jello with the 2 dots above the Y, but I don't know how true that is. But I was actually reading up on this group on Wikipedia and found out that a couple members of the band actually are in the band Tool, including the lead singer of Tool. But this is the record, the inside of the album cover, or the inside the jacket. It's nothing special or whatever, but they even had a VHS tape, video cassette tape, that came out back in the early 90s too, because it was considered a video album when they released this. But let's see if I can get this record out. What's special about this record, it's clear, but it has splatter, like paint splattered on it. Let's see if I can get it out. And what's special about this record is the splatter that's on this record glows in the dark. But what I'm going to do is leave this record out during the continuation of this video and let it get some light on it. And then at the end of the video, I'll have the lights turned off and we'll see how much it glows in the dark. But this is pretty cool. I don't think I have anything like this in my collection. In I have over 100 records in my collection, which doesn't sound like much to some people, but when it fills up about 6 or 7 Apple boxes that I have from when I used to work at Wegmans, yeah, that's a lot of records. But yeah, I'm going to set this one to the side somewhere. That way it could glow in the dark. Okay. But yeah, I read a lot of information about green jello, even the 3 lawsuits that they had in the process of them being formed from the early 80s. Look it up on Wikipedia under green jelly, and you'll be able to read a lot of information about it. But the next record I got is by the group M. It's a popular song they had out in the early or late 70s called Pop Music, which is a really catchy tune about a guy and a lady that formed a band from when they lived in Florida. But there's on the one side is the original song, and then 2 remixes, and then on the B side is another remix of the same song. But this one you might have to put on sunglasses to see how bright this album is. Yes, it's pink. A bright pink color. Like cotton candy pink. But it's pretty cool. But I can't wait to play some of these records. Yeah, the next one is a soundtrack for the movie Lost in Translation. Excellent movie, you gotta watch it. It's only rated R because there's a small, very short scene that takes place in a strip bar, and I think that's why it was rated R. But the rest of the movie is like really good. By Sofia Coppola, Francis Ford Coppola's daughter, and stars Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. But here's the record that I got for it. This is another colored vinyl. This one's not a bright pink though, but it's more of a lavender color. It has the lavender color of the full album. Pretty cool. In fact, I might have to do another video later on after this for some of the records I do have that are special, like either colored or a picture disc or something like that. If I have to dig them out, I have to go through all my records to do that video. But yeah, this is an excellent album too. A lot of great songs on here for a great movie. Okay, this one that I'm going to be talking about is a special album. It's a 50th anniversary edition of Procol Harum's debut album. This is a 2-record set. The first record is from the original CD or album when it came out, but the second record is all songs that were just newly released with this album that they did back then in the studio but never released. But the 50th anniversary. Oh, another thing I want to point out, I put the Record Store Day stickers on the back of most of the albums that came with the wrappers on them. And I put that special sticker on there too from Procol Harum. That was on the plastic cover. But let's see if I can get some of these records out. But these are really cool looking. Let's do one at a time, obviously, if I can. Oh gosh. It's hard to do this stuff with paws. So set that one there. Yeah, here's one of the records. Kind of psychedelic color on it. It's pretty cool though. I love the way they did that. Really awesome. Let's see if we can get the other record on it. This album also came with a poster with the original artwork on it, but I took it out already and set it somewhere because I didn't want it to get ruined. here's another one from this Procol Harum's debut album. By the way, it's the 50th anniversary edition of this album. It came out in 1969. Of course, I was barely born when that came out. But the song Whiter Shade of Pale is a very personal song for me. My mom used to listen to it all the time, and I loved it. So it's like Procol Harum rocks. Okay. This is the last one. It's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I actually haven't seen the movie yet. Yeah, who cares? It won Oscar for Best Animated Feature, big deal. I think, gosh, I won't blank on my mind. I think Isla's Dog should have got it. But here's a song listing. But it's got like a 3D cover on it, if you can see it. I guess why they call it lenticular. But I'm not going to pull these records out because they're just basic black. It's nothing special about them. It's just mainly the cover of the album. This was actually the most expensive one I bought on that day. This one also opens up. I guess it has scenes from the movie and song titles and stuff like that. But a lot of people bought it for the album. The one album I didn't get for Record Store Day because they were sold out by the time I had a chance to get in the store was the Crow soundtrack, which had black and white vinyl. But I found it in another location, but it's not going to be available or sent out for like 2 months, and I don't know if I should bother getting it or not. But that's about all for my records that I got for the day, or for that day. Like, I don't know. And then the grab bag that they gave you or whatever there didn't really have much in mind. Last year I had a bunch of stuff in it, including a $5 gift certificate for Amoeba. This year all I had was some guitar picks, a couple mini posters, a booklet, and vodka lip gloss. Like, who the hell uses vodka lip gloss? Like you're gonna get anywhere close to drunk with that. But I had like 3 or 4 guitar picks in that one too, and a pen for Amoeba. Those I've saved. I mean, everything else I could care less about. Oh, and the comic came in it with a 3D glasses. I don't know what that's all about. But, yeah, I had a good time there. I mean, we were there for about an hour after the wait. We waited in line for almost an hour. And we were in line for about the same spot we were last year when we got there 15 minutes early before the doors opened. But the door opened an hour early this year. Last year was 9, this year was 8. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it was set up right or whatever for some things there. But like getting the Crow soundtrack. But I did get everything else on my list. The Spider-Man versus the Spider-Verse though, or Into the Spider-Verse album was actually extra. I wasn't planning on getting that. But with some of the money I had like extra over from Record Store Day, I ended up buying these boots here. Gotta go with the shinies, you know. But they're pretty good. They're rubber, shiny boots, waterproof and everything. But yeah, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll try to do something more exciting for the... Oh yeah, let's try to see if the record glowed in the dark a little bit. We'll try this do to see if the light turns off and see if it glowed in the dark. I can see it a little bit, but this is during the daytime while we're recording this, so there's probably still too much light outside. But you can see it a little bit. It glows, the splatter glows in the dark for the green Jello CD. Yeah, by the way, the CD's called, or the record's called Serial Killer Soundtrack. And one of the companies that sued them was Kellogg's, because on the picture of the original album artwork had Toucan Sam, but they called him Toucan Son of Sam, and he was going around killing other cereal mascots like the Snap Crackle Pop and the Trix Bunny and the Cuckoo Cocoa Puffs Bird, but they had to change all their artwork for future releases. And same thing with Metallica sued them for a small segment on the album, and Kraft Company was going to sue them unless they changed their name and re-release the album as Green, not as Green Jello, because Kraft owned the rights to Green Jello. So, but that's about it for this video. I have to dig out my other records that are special and see what you think of them. But these are the ones that I got for Record Store Day this year. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have fun. Bye.